Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's AJ Writes Crypto. And about a month ago, I did something I've always wanted to do on this channel. I bought $100,000 worth of crypto in one swift, straight up buy. And now it's over $200,000, 209,000 to be exact. Before we get into it, couple things. I do intend on, buying well over $500,000 in this portfolio. But to be completely upfront with you, I did not think we were going to rip that high that fast. And I dropped the ball. I'm saying it. I dropped the ball on doing more of these videos before we went up the hill. And once we went up the hill, I'm like, it's kind of scary to buy right now because everything kind of tripled, doubled, some things even 4x in price. So I'm kind of at a turning point where I'm looking at the charts thinking, oh, this looks like it might turn around. Should I jump out, jump and wait for it to fall and jump back in? Or should I just use this portfolio as a HODL bag? Am I HODLing this or am I trading this? And I think that's something we could look at in this video too. Before we get into that, obviously, join my Telegram group. Guys, look at these gains that the traders in my group have been getting on a daily basis. 100%, 200%, 357%, 900% on a VeChain long. We are killing it in the Telegram group. Join us now. Send me an email, ajalphagroup@gmail.com. So here is the portfolio as it stands right now. All right. So it says 309,000 because I already moved over the next $100,000 to buy. But are we going to do that today? I don't know yet. We haven't decided yet. But look at Algorand. This was a $10,000 buy. This is now $41,000. Jasmine was a $10,000 buy, $25,000. AVAX was 10K, 20 grand. Render was 10K, 20 grand. The graph was 10K, 20 grand. All three of them perfectly doubled in price. But of course, Algo and Jasmine outperformed the bunch. FET was a $10,000 buy. It's just under 16 grand. Optimism was a 10K buy. That's just over 15 grand. Pyth was a $10,000 buy, and that one's only 13 grand. So out of all the $10,000 buys, Algorand and Jasmine were the best. OP and Pyth were the worst. And I really think, FET, OP, Pyth, all three projects that I like, all three projects that I think really haven't had their day to stretch their legs yet. I think I'm going to be targeting more of the coins that have not popped, to be completely honest with you. Ondo was a $5,000 buy at 11,400. Near was a $5,000 buy at 8,800. So I think Near is also a good one to target right now. And of course, Brett and Shiba were both $4,000 buys, with Brett more than doubling up and Shiba not all, on its way to doubling up. And then PHEMEX token, I just bought $2,000 really just for gas. All right. So let's start to look at this. First of all, since the interview with Benjamin Cowan, we talked about the break of the structure of Bitcoin dominance. And when we spoke, we were up here. Since then, Bitcoin dominance has broken structure. It has. And I do want to remind you, last time Bitcoin dominance came down the hill like this, okay, was back here from the beginning of 2021 to the sell in May, walk away dip in 2021 down here. And as you can see, it kind of fell, it stumbled, and then it fell again. It just dropped like a ton of bricks. And this thing right now, when you actually click on the oscillator, it kind of looks like it could be at a local bottom for now. I think it's really important to keep a close eye on Bitcoin dominance, maybe set an alarm at that local low and say, okay, if it breaks this level, altcoins could continue. That is something you should do. And let's do it right now. Let's click this alarm button right here. Click only once, create. Let's set that alarm. So if Bitcoin dominance puts in another low, we will know, hey, maybe we should start looking at our altcoins. So when we did the $100,000 buy video, a lot of coins like Optimism were either in a pennant or in this ascending triangle type pattern. And of course, all of these broke to the upside as planned. Optimism stopping out just below that measured move from the ascending triangle. And this is kind of something I want to do across the board when I'm having the conversation with myself. Should I jump in, jump out, or should I just hodl? Well, when you kind of zoom into the 2 hour, you can kind of see, yeah, it is kind of losing a little steam. The oscillator is kind of rolling over. The money flow is kind of rolling over just a little bit. There are some, volume nodes we should be worried about. Of course, we don't want to, let it go through this volume node. So right there, and that lines up with support resistance. We don't want our optimism to go below this, $2 level, but we also don't want to lose too much either. I'm kind of thinking finding some support resistance like here, right? Where we have, this was the ceiling, it fought for this range, and then it was the floor 1-2 times here, right? So I would say if I'm going to set an alarm here. All right. And if optimism, just as an example, goes below this 242 support resistance level, we need to set that alarm. And I think that could be a good place maybe to jump out if it continues to drop, and then maybe target a place to buy back in, because this would kind of be a break of support resistance, and the break of structure would be if it lost this local trend line right there. So all things to consider with optimism, a coin that underperformed in this portfolio. All right, Pyth, another situation where we had this pennant. This was a pennant, not a triangle. Broke to the upside and is actually sitting. The price is just on this really important support resistance level. And on the daily, this thing does look kind of scary. We did get the bull cross on the EMA, but you can see we are coming down, the momentum oscillator coming down, on the money flow just a little bit with the point of control underneath us. When you zoom in, you can actually see that the price action is just above that really important support resistance level. For the record, this level is at, I would say, just about 50 cents exactly. All right. And then if you kind of wanted to look at it like this, you could say, okay, it's pretty close to losing structure. But if there was a level you didn't want it to lose, it would probably be this 50-cent level. Or if you want to give it a little bit more room to breathe, you could say this 45-cent level right here. Some alarms maybe you should set on Pyth if things start to turn around from here. The graph, another triangle, another one I feel severely underperformed. This is the 2-day chart. And as you can see, a couple days ago, we got a bull cross on not the 1 day, but the 2-day chart for GRT. I think the graph, one of the coins that unfortunately did not even come close to getting back to that 2024 high set back in March. This thing is still 55% away from where it was back in March. Where on the other hand, Algorand, H-bar, V-chain, all got to this level and went past this level significantly. So I feel the graph is lagging behind here big time, maybe one we should target. But on the 2-day chart, we have a red dot on market cipher B. We have these kind of double hammer candles, kind of hammer showing it could be a reversal indicator. Go back and look every time the graph reversed. Look right here, double, let me get my brush, double hammer. Why is my brush not working? Double hammer. And what happened after that double hammer? We came down the hill. But let's look at the March 2024. We kind of had a big hammer, kind of a triple hammer with a doji in the middle of it. It's these big candles separated from the body that kind of shows that clear in liquidity. Is a reversal indicator. Unfortunately, I don't want to say this. Oh, I just lost my chart. I don't want to say that this is it for the bull run. I really don't think it is, but I think you could postulate an argument zooming into the 2-hour for that we hit a local top a couple days ago. We do have to consider that possibility right now. So even looking at the graph, kind of zooming in on the 2-hour, I would say, kind of maybe this little support resistance level right here kind of had the ceiling, the floor, and we bounce off of it again here. This level for the graph is at 31.1, so just a little bit over 31 cents. I would say if the graph loses that level, you could maybe consider selling some, trying to buy in a little bit lower, maybe buy back in at the 200 EMA, which is at 28 cents. So if it goes from here to here, and you sell here, the graph might fall 8% without you, and you could buy back in. Of course, guys, I want you to make very clear, if you are just a HODL trader, do not play with fire. Do not jump in, jump out. Obviously, Trump's not even in office yet. We've only had 2 interest slashes. I think this is the second inning of this bull run. Based off the Bitcoin halving cycle, we're projected to Q3, Q4, October, November 2025 for the top, all based off the Bitcoin halving cycle, which has not broken yet. And until that breaks, I'm going to continue on as if it's not going to. So if you're just hodling, just hodl. But if you want to optimize, if you want to trade your bags, understand you're playing with fire, but I am just giving you these levels to warn you that it could get bloody if we lose X, Y, or Z. All right. So there are a lot of local top signals right now. This does feel a little bit like the week after the top back in March. Really fast, going into optimism. All right. Avalanche, another triangle setup. Broke out completely to the upside, and 2-day chart already got the bull cross. Still, Avalanche is a little bit behind still got a little bit more room to run to get to the March high, about 22% away. But once again, you zoom in on the 2 hour, you say, well, this thing could still keep going. There's probably no point to sell it now, where you could set a big alarm at the local high. You could set a big alarm at this support resistance right here. So, ceiling, floor. You know how many times this level has been tested, right? We got the 1, 2, 3, 4.5 times this level has been tested for Avalanche. So I would say losing this level here at $49.26 is probably really bad. If we lost that level, that would probably be the point where we come down and have a more gnarly retest. And if you could get out here and get back in somewhere in here, you could save your HODL bags some headache. But of course, like I said, this strategy is playing with fire. If you're a beginner and you're just HODLing, just HODL. But if you're trying to optimize your moves, these are some levels to consider. 2 more charts to go, and then we'll talk strategy. Jasmine, we had this big descending triangle, like we said in the video. And back in the video, we were still in here. This thing exceeded all expectations from my book. The Jasmine buy we did was at 018. Let me find 018 right around here. All right, so top to bottom, this thing pumped 225%, currently up 162%. And as you can see, doesn't this look like it might have hit a local high? It kind of looks like it to me. You got a red dot on the daily, 3 consecutive red candles back to back to back. But when you come into the 2 hour, look at this. The last candle on the 2 hour kind of looks like it's pushing. This could just be a retest of the 50. We might be talking crazy thinking that this, that it's over. And, this bouncing off the 50 easily could continue. It easily could, which is why I'm saying set alarms. Don't just sell because it looks like a top. And if we lose these certain levels, like if we lose this level right here, that would be bad. At 0.432, if we lost that level, I would consider maybe getting out and getting back in. But if it's still bouncing, it's still holding the 50 on the 2 hour, I'm going to ride it out. I'm not selling anything right now. I'm riding it out, and I'm going to react to these levels. That's how I trade. I don't guess, I react. Lastly, Algorand. And honestly, pat on the back to the Algo fam. Everyone, I'm crazy. I'm a newbie. I don't know what I'm talking about. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, yeah, well, I bought an entire bag of crypto. I bought all of these coins here. And the best performer by more than double was Algorand. All right. To be fair, I have to say it. I am kicking myself for not putting HBAR in this portfolio. And the reason I didn't is because I put HBAR in all my other portfolios, and I wanted to stretch my legs and get in touch some different communities and experiment with different projects. Don't get me wrong. I have a lot of HBAR in my personal bags. I have HBAR in all the other portfolios I built on this channel, but I am kicking myself for not putting HBAR in this bag. And if it has a significant retest, of course, I will top off some HBAR. But with all that said, Algorand did outperform this bag by a mile, and it still has, so this yellow blob right here is where we bought our Algorand, just over 12 cents, top to bottom, about 405% top to bottom, still up 303%, because Algorand has bled a little bit, which is why it is possible to have that local high conversation, kind of just like Jasmine on the 2 hour. It is still fighting, and it's still holding that 50 EMA. All right, so from the tippy top to the price now, Algorand already gave up 19%, so let's look at this. Let's look at this kind of structure, kind of like this, kind of forming somewhat. You could kind of draw it like that, or you could kind of come out and you could even draw it like this. All right, and kind of, set an alarm and see which way this thing breaks. If you don't want to go off of a pattern and you want to go off of levels, I would say this low here, at 42.2, that's a really big level. You don't want to see Algorand lose that. And if you want to run a more local level, that more local low at 46.7, 2 really strong alarms to set on Algorand at the moment. So all in all, this portfolio has done great. I've made, it's at 310 now. I've made $110,000 since we did this video on Halloween. We did this video. I'm up over $110,000, pat on the back. But I do want to keep buying more crypto. But guys, it's not always about FOMOing into a pump. I have these levels set where I call it a conditional range. If we lose the bottom level, it's probably a good time to sell. If we regain the top level and it's going to continue, probably not a bad time to buy. You want to kind of play touch and go. You don't want to make after things pump 300%, it's kind of hard to FOMO in another $100,000. And if we are going to see another significant retest, I want to put my money in after the retest. So I am giving this time. No shame in my game. I've already made $1 million and it's not even 2025 yet in my personal bag. So for me, I'm just trying to play it smart. I'm trying to keep you guys aware of the levels you need to be setting. Hey, and at the end of the day, we still made $110,000. So what am I complaining about? So with all that said, I want to know, what coins are you guys hodling? What coins are you guys targeting? I want to know. Let me know down below in the comments. And as always, everybody, please make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Those are two very easy things you can do that really, really help this channel. And for all the groggers that have been here from the beginning, much appreciation to you guys. And of course, if you want to sign up for the Telegram group, make sure you send an email to ajalphagroup@gmail.com. Look at those gains we've been putting on the board. This is not my trades. This is the group's trades, and the group has been killing it. So there we go. That's it, everybody. Have a safe rest of your day. Get rich or get wrecked. Later.